I want to show you something. This Rembrandt here. People come from all over the world to see this.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
It's a fake.
What are we talking about? It's impossible.
People believe what they want to believe. Because the guy who made this was so good that it's real to everybody. And who's the master? The painter or the forger?
I'm Peter, and
we are doing a movie review again, and it'll be for the first recording of 2014. And today we're going to be reviewing the movie, which has been out for a while, but still appropriate to review, American Hustle, which by the director of Silver Linings Playbook,
David O. Russell.
David O. Russell, thank you. So this will probably also be an Oscar contender in some way, shape, or form.
I think it's already been nominated
It's already been nominated for stuff?
A lot of stuff, like Golden Globes or something like that.
Yeah, Golden Globes has been nominated. Whether it'll get to Oscars, that's a different question entirely. But we had been looking forward to this movie for a while, I think. We had thought about it, so were your expectations up to snap, or were you kind of... How did it live up to your expectations, Peter?
I was kind of let down.
I was too, but you know, I'm not really surprised because our expectations were really high, but you know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was a very, I guess, an artsy movie. Kind of.
Yes. You know what? Let's get into the things that we liked.
Okay, let's get into the things we liked.
First.
I think the part that stood out to me the most was Christian Bale's performance. He was the star of that movie to me.
He was the star of the movie.
No, but I mean, not that type of star. I know what you mean, but star in terms of the acting performance that stood out the most.
Yeah, Christian Bale with his big old gut and his comb over and his toupee. He was great, and what I love about Christian Bale is that he's one of those actors who's not afraid to get ugly, if you will. To uglify himself.
Uglify? I don't even know if that's a word, but
it's not a word.
But do things like lose an extreme amount of weight and then regain it all back.
And of course, and I'm not endorsing any of that, but what I'm trying to say is that he's the kind of actor who takes different kinds of roles, you know. He's not like Will Smith, who has to always be the good guy and has to...
Who's the same guy in every movie, basically. Or Jason Statham is the best example.
Yeah.
Jason Statham is Jason Statham. He's the exact same character in every movie, pretty much.
He mixes it up, and in this movie where he plays an overweight con man, it's a huge contrast to the role that's made him famous and with which most people associate him, and that's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
The Batman,
yeah. It's a very different role, and he's rarely, and I'm sure he's probably been nominated for Best Actor. Whether I don't think he'll win, but he definitely is going to get at least an Oscar nod, I think, for that. And he is spectacular in the movie. And so are the other people, all the acting. Jennifer Lawrence, once again, proving that...
the cast consists of, or at least the main cast consists of Bradley Cooper, Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, and Jeremy Renner, and all of them are great. You know, the performances are definitely one of the highlights of the movie, without a doubt.
And also, I think another interesting... I really liked the setting of the 70s, and I thought that was it's like a time period we don't really talk a lot, that isn't really discussed in, culture. We don't really think about it, but the setting and the people I thought was interesting, too.
Yeah, they really embraced the decade of the 70s, especially with the outstanding soundtrack that they have for this movie.
Yes, the soundtrack is fantastic.
Which was... Oh, man, that was... Actually, you know what? I'd say that was the best thing about this movie. They, I don't know who picked the music for this movie, but they picked the absolute perfect songs to complement the movie and the things that were going on the screen.
And when the movie opens, it opens with the 1970s look too. The Paramount Pictures is a 1970s look, and I really liked how they embraced that, and embraced many things about the 70s. You know, all the corruption and all that interesting stuff, which I always find interesting, all the history details. But I enjoyed it. So that's what I did enjoy, and I did enjoy the story. I had problems with it, which I'll get into, but I did enjoy the story on an overall.
Yeah. Do you want to go over the plot a bit? Because that's something we actually haven't talked about yet.
Well, the plot of the story is that Christian Bale's character is a con man, and he's married to Jennifer Lawrence's character, and Amy Adams is the partner.
Yeah.
Mistress.
Partner and mistress.
And basically, they end up having to do. End up making a deal with Bradley Cooper's character, who's a FBI agent, and they have to basically do this deal to do this bigger con operation, and things get really, really crazy.
Yeah, and that's really all that needs to be said.
That's all I need to be said about it. And the story is enjoyable, but I think it's in how they told the story, where I think, to me at least, some of the problems were. But
we're starting to move into the negatives now.
I think the one more positive thing I'd like to say is that I liked the balance, like how all the actors kind of, even though Christian Bale is plays the main character, they all kind of get their own thing. When you have like basically four main characters, it's pretty much four main characters, like, kind of.
You know, it's like they all get their chance to dominate the screen at some point.
Yes, at some point. It's balanced very well. Balancing multiple characters is not something a lot of directors can do well. It's very, like, difficult to make sure characters aren't forgotten about, which happens in a lot of movies with too many characters, and they don't know what they're doing. We've seen that before.
Yep.
I don't think there's. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other positive things, but I can't think of anything right now. Oh, that's not good. I'm not.
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. I'm not thinking of more. Let me just get. I'll guess we'll go into negatives. Since
All right.
I think the main problem I had is I thought the movie was probably a little bit too long.
Yeah, it was definitely drawn out, and I'd say definitely in the final, I'd say 20 minutes or something. I was saying, all right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, the final 20 minutes were definitely not needed in this movie.
And the movie's about 2.5 hours long, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think, way too long for that type of movie. I don't know. Is there anything that really, really annoyed you?
I think some of the way how the scenes played out.
Yeah.
Since there is okay, first of all, the story's sort of told. How do you describe it? Since it's sort of like
It's told.
Christian Bale will be describing what's happening on screen, and then people will just be doing a bunch of stuff, and he'll say what's happening.
It's told from basically one perspective.
Yeah, I guess
Which
that's one way.
I thought it's interesting, but I thought that was kind of part of the problem in a way, that because it's one perspective, it kind of feels like.
I mean, it's not just told from one perspective. It's The Wolf of Wall Street did the same thing, where I'm not really sure how to describe it. I think there's a specific term where you're not actually seeing the events unfold or something, but it's just someone recounting it, or I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it, I'm sorry, but it's just something I didn't like how it was handled in this movie, the way how those scenes were shot.
Yeah, that's true. And some of the scenes dragged on too long.
Yeah, and one thing that's always bothered me is when multiple people talk over each other in a movie.
Yeah.
Which, it happens in real life, but still, it's annoying.
Oh, yeah, the
And
talk over dialogue that's crossing over other dialogue.
Yeah, and it happens a bit too often in this movie.
It's a nice technique when you want to imply a chaotic scene, but...
Or urgency, but... It's just constant. Those scenes drag out a bit too long.
Yeah, more than they need to be. I just, I kind of didn't feel as... I mean, there were times in the story I just kind of felt like... I felt like I kind of got out of the movie I snapped out of it because it was just too.
Yeah, I wasn't really hooked for long stretches of time.
Like, I'll put it this way: the movie was good, but nothing about it, and the performances were amazing. Like, different parts of the movie were pretty amazing. Like, kind of was like wow, but the whole piece, when it's all put together, like, you can have different sections on their own that are amazing, but the whole puzzle was kind of not great.
Yeah.
I don't know if this.
Yeah,
is
and it's kind of right now. It's kind of hard for us right now because, confession, we actually saw this movie a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
So.
So I guess the fact that we aren't remembering that much, I think it just kind of is a good movie that you will only want to see.
Yeah, our memory's a bit fuzzy, but yeah, I can't imagine ever seeing it again.
Yeah, there's just nothing about it that is like, that's like you just say wow, the wow factor, I guess if we want to call it something. It's just not there.
Yeah, the performances are good, but we weren't really sucked into the movie at any point.
No, we really weren't.
Yeah.
I wasn't. So.
Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. Do you want to just give ratings?
I'm gonna give it about
5-point scale.
5-point scale because we're sticking with that because you wanted a 5-point scale, which I'm good with.
Yay!
I give it about a 3.5. I wonder if I'm being 3.5.
Yeah. You
It's
know,
just kind
that's
of
fair.
middle
You
of
made
the
your
road.
case. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, 3.5. It's slightly better than average, but nothing too...
I'm sorry to hear that, Alex, since you were really looking forward
I
to this
really
one a lot.
was. I was kind of disappointed. And,
Yeah.
and I wasn't, like, it wasn't bad, so I'm not offended, but I'm just kind of like, oh. I was just kind of sad. I was kind of semi-sad walking out at that night.
Yeah.
It was not what I was hoping for. Which happens, you know. And that could be our expectations being really high, so I don't know, but I was hoping for more.
You know what? I remember coming out of that theater, I think I was feeling a little bit better about the movie than you were.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cheer up David O. Russell and gang a bit and give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Since, you know, you giving it 3.5, I think it would be fair. I think it's fair for me to, and I was sort of leaning in the 3.5 to 4 range, but
Yeah, I was too,
yeah,
but
you know, it's like, but for me, for some reason, that 3.5 didn't quite feel
right.
right. I felt like the movie was a bit better than that,
Yeah.
and I really, really like the performances of everyone involved.
I do too.
And I think that there were some really, really great scenes in it, some great writing. Not throughout the movie, but
In parts of the movie,
in parts of the movie.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and honestly, and also what impressed me was kind of Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Who kind of, I guess, is outshined by by everyone else, but
he's definitely not. He's not as big of a name as anyone else, and his character is also smaller.
He has a smaller role, but he's impressive.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor, and I wish he could do more because I wish he's had another big movie since Hurt Locker, which is the first time anybody I think ever saw Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I mean, he was in other stuff, but the Hurt Locker was his first big break.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, that's our review of American Hustle. We still recommend that you go out and see it.
Yeah, I'm not saying
though,
don't go see it. Go see it. I just don't think you need to see it more than one time.
Even though we can't really remember everything about the movie.
It's worth seeing.
It's still worth seeing, and we felt like we should do a review anyway of it because it was a good movie, and we like talking about good stuff.
Yeah, it is. And, was it worth paying a ticket to see? Yeah, I'd still say that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Disappointed doesn't mean it wasn't worth seeing, just as a general note. If I say something not to go waste your money, I will tell you very bluntly, I might add, that you will not see this movie. Which, hopefully we will not run into another movie like that.
Yeah.
Last time was Green Lantern.
Fuck that noise.
Yes. I saw that twice because of, was that our friend who saw it or you who dragged me? Did you not want to see that movie?
No, I didn't want to see it.
Oh yeah, our friend wanted to see it. You just kind of came along, which I thought you wanted to see it too.
When it comes to movies, no one listens to me.
Well, no one listens to me either.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, we usually see, sometimes we see a movie just Peter and I, but sometimes we go with bigger groups of people, so that ends up when we go with a bigger group being dragged to
Fucking
movies.
Green Lantern.
And probably something like that
Jack
Shadow
Ryan,
Recruit.
Shadow Recruit.
I don't know how you can drag me to that because it's a Chris Pine movie.
Well, I won't because
You won't.
I'm just gonna bail if that's the next movie we decide to see.
Yeah, some of our friends decide to see that. I'm bailing on that too.
Yep.
I'm not wasting my time in a Chris Pine movie unless there's something else because he's unfortunately the movie revolves around him. Nope.
All right. Wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. American Hustle. It's
Yeah.
we've given our ratings. I would recommend you guys going see it. And
Yeah. Alex gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 4. Both those are on the 5-point scale. So,
yep,
check it out.
check it out. And we hope you guys will listen to the next movie review.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Toast to a new era.
You never took a quarter from a phone booth. You stole. I just got bigger balls than you.
Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share.